Hello people, I am Sky Demolisher and welcome back for another From the Collection Fridays, a series where I take things from my collection and show it to you, my viewers. And this week I'm going to combine the two of them just because of what they are. It's the Hallmark ornaments, A Nightmare Before, Nightmare on Elm Street, I was about to say before Elm Street, but Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger, and It Chapter 2, Pennywise. Yeah, I found these at my local supermarket and I really wasn't expecting to. I was just getting the usual junk food sort of thing, and I saw this clearance sign and I was like, oh, what's that? And it's like, oh, ornaments. I'm like, well, it's April. Isn't it a little late for Christmas ornaments? Anyway, I'll have a look at them, and I saw that, they've got like a Moana and a Snow White, and there's a Pokemon one, and then I was like, oh, there's Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh, that's pretty cool. So, I was sort of looking at them, and then I saw that there was a Nightmare on Elm Street, and I was like, what? And I was like, oh, cool. Okay, well, I'll grab that. And then I saw that there was an It Chapter 2 one, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll take that too, because, they're both there. Came home, looked it up, found out that there's actually meant to be a third one, Jason Voorhees. So I went back the other day and I looked through the entire shelf though. There was no Jason Voorhees. So I was like, bugger. If I had the Jason, I'd have all three that I think make up like this particular set. They didn't have Jason. And the price that I'd have to pay to get a Jason is the same price that I would have paid for all three of these had they actually had a Jason. Anyway, they are Christmas ornaments. They were reduced to, I think, maybe half price, maybe a bit more than half price when I got them. I'll start with Freddy. Now, Freddy can't stand up on his own because of how his boots are done. And I don't know how well this will actually show up. Okay, the face, they certainly got like the scarring okay. The hands do kind of look a bit like, bedroom toys perhaps is a good way of putting it. But obviously, you can't really make them too sharp or anything. The sculpting of the boots is actually really nice, not that this, yeah. So like the boots are really nice, but because of how the heel and stuff is done on them, they're sort of a bit too round on the bottom, so he doesn't stand. But you can see, they've got the nice creasing in the pants. Sort of where the hand is in the pocket, that's actually badly sort of done. But he is meant to be sort of, I think the idea was that his hand is like that in the pocket, sort of thing. Sorry, that. So thumb out and pinky out, 3 fingers in the pocket. Yeah. And the fedora is quite nice. Obviously, nice little ribbon at the top. And, they've kept in the creasing in the top and stuff. I don't know if so much if the painting is made to look like the bottom is sort of frayed, but that's kind of how it looks. So all around is quite nice. You might, if you found them, you might need to go through a few and see if you can find one that you like more. So that's basically what I did with Pennywise. So again, the sculpting of the face is not too fantastic. I know that this is a horrible way to try to do this. Yeah. But they've got the creasing lines and stuff for the forehead. The costume is really nicely sort of done and puffed out. He can stand on his own, so that's kind of handy. And they haven't kept it as a straight thing, which is something I like. So the balloon does actually sort of look more like it's floating. And still nicely painted and detailed on the back too. So, really nice little Pennywise figure. Now, I think one of the benefits of these sort of things is that because of that loop at the top, you could like take the ribbon out and then attach them to, say, a key ring, or you know, maybe onto your belt or something like that, if that's something that you wanted to do. Or you could put them around, like, you know, a piece of string sort of thing, hang it around your neck and have it as like a necklace piece or whatever. So, you know, I think they're quite nice. Now, the Freddy Krueger one didn't seem to have plastic in the front. Now, some photos of it seem to indicate that it did have a front one. This one just didn't have it. But yeah, that's sort of like what the box looks like. There's no, you know, no great imaging or anything. I mean, you could keep them in the boxes if you want. Pennywise does come with the double clamshell, so he's plastic both sides to keep him safe and dust free and that. What I don't get is the whole age 17 plus thing. I mean, you know, it seems kind of dumb, but of course, you know, Warner Brothers thing on the back. All around, I actually think they're quite cool. You know, I think I paid $12 for each one, so like I'm quite happy with paying them at $12. I believe that they're made out of resin, so you know, like they're not a cheap plastic or anything. They did do a fairly good job on the sort of sculpts and the painting, but you know, like your mileage will vary, sort of thing. But yeah, like I think one of the things that's probably amusing is that for certain size like doll houses, these guys are probably about the right size. They're I think around 3 inches, so they're not too tall, but they're also not too small. So yeah, I hope that you have enjoyed this, and until next time, take care of yourselves. Bye.